Hey, my name's Dorsey, and in this video, I'm gonna share with you some very practical tips on how you can overcome procrastination in your artwork. And I'm also gonna show you how I painted this. Now, this video is filled with some practical insights in how you can get past procrastination, so make sure you stay till the end. So what is procrastination? It's simply delaying or postponing a task that needs to be accomplished. And when it comes to art, that doesn't always make that much sense, right? Because we love creativity. It gives us life, it gives us joy. But why would we postpone that? Why would we delay that? Hey, listen, there's really 4 main reasons that procrastination is so common among artists. Here they are. Number 1, fear of failure. Ultimately, you're worried about your expectations or somebody else's expectations not being met, and that fear of failure can lead you to paralysis. Number 2 is perfectionism. We artists are known for being perfectionists. This is a good thing in one way, but it also holds us back a lot. 3, lack of inspiration. Now, creativity can be elusive, so waiting to be inspired is a very common mistake that artists make because they think they have to have some certain perfect moment before they could ever begin to create. But this often leads to long periods of time of inaction and non-creativity because you're just delaying until you feel that one beautiful, perfect moment of inspiration. And the 4th reason that it's often common for artists to procrastinate is because of overwhelm. I don't have my paints out. I don't know where to go to get my art supplies. I ran out of yellow paint and I don't have any. And all of a sudden you're overwhelmed with just the extra task that you have to do. And so you delay again because of overwhelm. But here's the real problem with procrastination, because while somewhere in our brain we must believe that delaying is going to make things better, it actually makes things worse. First of all, it leads to reduced motivation. Hey, maybe you were really inspired, you saw something that was cool and you wanted to create it, and then you got scared and you delayed, and all of a sudden you find yourself where that motivation that you had earlier on, that inspiration that was there, it's gone now. The second way procrastination hurts an artist is that sometimes if you're doing a project for something specific, it will put time pressure on you, and all of a sudden, instead of being able to have fun creating, now you're working under pressure, and sometimes that can really limit your creative ability. The third really negative effect that procrastination can have on an artist is negative self-talk. You know, you've been delaying, so then you start thinking negatively because you're not being productive. This negative self-talk then further inhibits your creative expression. Do you see this negative, terrible cycle that we can get into? The 4th negative thing that procrastination can do to you is it totally interrupts any state of flow that you've been in. Now, creativity does take a certain state of mind. You have these opportunities when you've been creating that you get into a zone. Procrastination, by its very nature, doesn't just interrupt that, it doesn't even let you get there, right? Now that we know why we procrastinate and how it affects us, we can move on to the solution. How can you move past procrastination and get started making the artwork that you always have wanted to make? To get our motivation back, we're gonna do 3 things. First, we're gonna set small goals. We don't have to have huge ideas about what we're gonna do, just set one small goal. It might be getting out your supplies. It might be taking 5 minutes to write. It might be putting one brush stroke down on a painting. Secondly, we're going to get back to that place of inspiration. Where were you? What did you see? What is it? Maybe it's gone. Maybe that moment has passed, but is there something similar that you can experience? Is there a forest that you can walk through? What is it that inspired you? Is it people? Is it music? What got you to that place of inspiration? And we're going to go back to that place. We're going to try to find it. We're going to look for new places of inspiration. The third thing we're going to do to get our motivation back is we're going to experiment. We're going to try a new technique. We're going to try a new medium. We're going to try a new artistic adventure. Whatever it is, do something and experiment and take the pressure off. Speaking of pressure, if you've been delaying and procrastinating, you might feel pressure because you're wasting time. Here's how we're going to deal with that. First, we're going to prioritize and plan. We're not just going to leave it to chance that we're going to do this. We're going to actually schedule some time to do what we need to do. We're going to prioritize. If it's a thing that's broken down into several tasks, we're going to schedule the time we're going to get our supplies. We're going to schedule the time we're going to set up the room. We're going to schedule the time that we're going to do the project. That's how we're going to do this. prioritize, and plan. The second way we're gonna beat the time pressure is that we're gonna start early. We're gonna get going right away. Instead of delaying and delaying, we're gonna get going, and that's gonna help us to have more fun in the creative process because we're gonna be more relaxed. We're gonna have less pressure on us. So we're gonna just be starting right off the bat. And the third way we're gonna beat the time pressure, and this one is really important, is we're gonna learn how to say no. Hey, there's lots of things that we could say yes to. There's lots of responsibilities that we cannot avoid, but there are certain things that we can say no to. One of them is social media. One of them is watching videos like this. And my goal for you is not to sit here and watch videos. It's actually to take something like this and say, you know what? Now is the time. This is the motivation I needed to get going again. But you gotta say no to certain things so that you can say yes to the more important things. To deal with procrastination, we also need to deal with this negative self-talk. And how are we gonna do that? We're gonna do it like this. We're gonna challenge our unbelief. We're gonna challenge the things that say you can't do this. Who says you can't do this? Who says you can't be a good artist? Who says you're not creative enough? Listen, you have enough creative ability in you to do it. You have it. You can do it. And so you need to challenge that because a lot of times it's the thought that keeps us from trying, and when we don't try, we never develop our skills, and when we never develop our skills, we never grow, and when we never grow, we never think that we're very good at something. Again, it's this cycle of, hey, if you just believe that you have the skills, you can practice, and if you practice, you will get better. So we're gonna challenge those thoughts that say, I'm not creative enough, I'm not good enough for this, and we're gonna believe that you have what it takes. And the other thing we're gonna do when we encounter negative self-talk is we're gonna reach out for help. You're gonna call a friend, you're gonna reach out to somebody. Like I reached out to my brother the other day and I just say, hey, I'm trying to accomplish this one thing and I'm feeling really negative about it and I just need help. Could you pray for me? I need help from wherever I can get help. So I'm gonna pray, I'm gonna reach out for help from people, and I just having that word of encouragement from somebody like my brother got me through to where I needed to go. And procrastination has also kept us out of the state of flow, that creative state that we want to be into. So how do we get there practically? What can we do that will help us enter the creative flow state? Number one, we're going to eliminate distractions. We're going to set aside time and space. We're going to turn off our computers. We're going to set down our phones. We're going to put things on silent and we're not going to worry about it. We're going to set a timer so that we know it's not forever. We're going to put these things in place that we can eliminate distractions and we can focus our minds. The second way we can get ourselves into creative flow state is by doing small warm-up exercises. Hey, we don't need to start on the massive project right away. That's overwhelming. That can be kind of hard to get going on, and we might have big expectations for it, but a small little warm-up project, that can start us working. It can get our creative mind going and it can help us get into flow state quicker. And the third, maybe most important thing to get into flow state creatively is this: embrace imperfection. Hey, we're not here to be perfect. We're not here to not ever make a mistake. Actually, the mistakes are part of the process. The failures are part of the road to success. And if you want to grow as an artist, if you want to create works of beauty, you have to embrace imperfection, because it is those little imperfections that end up being an influence in the final result of the painting, of the work of art, of those little things that they became part of the journey along the way. And that is why I actually am making this video, is because I had a rough day. I got stuck and I didn't know what to do and I had to reach out for help. And then it gave me this thought of, gosh, this hard thing that I went through actually gave me the motivation and the inspiration to make a video, because I know that I'm not alone in feeling stuck, in procrastinating, doing what I know that I need to do and what I want to do ultimately. So embrace imperfection. Maybe the most important part of this whole puzzle. Embrace imperfection. And remember this: out of all the artwork in the world, you are the most wonderful masterpiece that there is, created to do good things. So be encouraged and don't worry about the little mistakes. Don't worry about the imperfections. You are loved and believed in. Hey, if you enjoyed this, it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with your friends, and then when you have a chance, come to acrylicuniversity.com, where we would love to encourage you in your creative journey. Until next time, guys, remember this: you are loved and believed in, and happy painting.